Let me tell you something, man. You gotta be hungry. I'm talking about hungry for your dream like it's the only meal left on earth. See, a lot of folks want success. They want the house, the car, the recognition. But they ain't hungry enough. They just interested. And let me tell you, being interested don't get you nowhere. You gotta want that thing so bad that you wake up thinking about it. And you go to bed praying on it. When everybody's out partying, you grinding. When the world says, man, that dream's too big, you say, so what? Watch me. I remember when I was starting out, I didn't have a whole lot. Didn't have the degrees, didn't have a fancy name. Didn't even have the support. People laughed at me, told me I was crazy for thinking I could do something with my life. But you know what I did have? I had hunger. I had that fire inside of me that said, I'm not gonna die average. That said, I'm tired of living check to check. That said, I might not be there yet, but I'm not staying here. Now listen, there's gonna be times where you feel like quitting. Trust me on that. You're gonna cry. You're gonna feel like you're not enough, like maybe the dream is just too far. But let me ask you this, how hungry are you? 'Cause hunger changes behavior. You ever seen a hungry man? He don't sit around waiting on somebody to hand him a plate. He out there hustling, scrapping, making moves. And that's what your dream requires. It requires you to be uncomfortable. It requires you to show up on days you don't feel like it. It requires you to believe when nobody else does. You see, success don't respond to wishes. It responds to persistence, to hustle, and to a relentless mindset that says, as long as I'm breathing, I'm grinding. That's what hunger is. It's not just motivation. It's that voice inside you that says, I'm tired of being sick and tired. It's the energy that keeps you going when your body says stop. It's the push you give yourself when nobody's clapping for you. When nobody's watching, when it's just you, your God, and your grind. And look, I don't care if you're 19 or 59, that dream you got, it ain't dead. It's dormant. It's waiting on you to get hungry again. To stop making excuses and start making progress. To stop blaming everybody else and start believing in yourself. I ain't saying it's easy. I'm saying it's worth it. So today I just got one question for you. How hungry are you? Because when you're truly hungry, you don't need a guarantee. You just need a chance. And baby, if God woke you up this morning, that's your chance. Take it. Grind for it. Cry for it. Fight for it. And don't stop until you got it. Now, go get what's yours, because the table's already set. All you gotta do is show up hungry. Let me tell you something real quick. Your current situation is not your final destination. I don't care where you are right now in your life. Broke, confused, tired, stuck, disappointed. That ain't where your story ends. See, too many people look at where they are and think that's the whole picture. They think that just because they're struggling right now, that's all life's ever gonna be. But let me ask you something. When you're driving through a storm, do you park the car? Do you stop and set up camp in the middle of the mess? No, man. You keep going, you push through it. And that's exactly what life is like. You gotta understand God ain't through with you yet. Just because things don't look good right now doesn't mean your life's on pause. It means you're in the middle. And let me tell you something about the middle. It's messy. The middle is where it hurts. It's where you question yourself. It's where people leave you. It's where the money runs dry and the nights feel long. But it's also where growth happens. It's where character is built. It's where God prepares you for what He's about to bless you with. Now I know it's hard to see the blessing when all you can see is the bills. I know it's hard to believe in yourself when everything around you looks like a failure. But listen to me, just because you're struggling today doesn't mean you won't be shining tomorrow. Just because they walked away from you don't mean your value went down. Just because the door closed doesn't mean the dream died. Sometimes God gotta shut a few doors to keep you from settling in the wrong room. I've been broke. I've been down. I've been told I wasn't gonna make it. And if I had judged my whole life based on what I was going through back then, man, I would have missed everything God had for me. The blessing was never in where I was. It was always in where I was headed. I just had to keep moving, had to keep trusting, had to keep putting one foot in front of the other when nothing made sense. And guess what? That's what you gotta do. You can't let your current chapter convince you the story's over. Maybe you're living in a studio apartment right now, barely making rent. Maybe you're working a job you hate just to keep the lights on. Maybe you're dealing with heartbreak, with rejection, with loss. But hear me when I say this. This is not how your story ends. This is just the part that makes the victory sweeter. This is the part that turns your testimony into power. Don't you dare give up just because it's tough right now. Don't you dare settle for less just because the road is hard. You weren't built to stay stuck. You weren't designed to just survive. You were made to thrive, to grow, to overcome, to rise. The pain you're feeling right now, that's not the end. It's the preparation. That pressure you're under, that's not your punishment. That's your push. Life ain't about where you are. It's about where you're going. But you gotta believe that better is coming. You gotta hold on when everything in you says let go. And I promise you this, if you can just keep walking, just keep believing, one day you're gonna look back at this chapter and smile because it didn't break you. It built you. So don't settle in the storm. Keep walking because where you are is not where you're staying. Failure is not the end. It's the price tag of success. You can't buy your dream on a discount rack. You can't tiptoe your way into greatness hoping never to fall. Nah, man, success costs. And failure? That's just part of the payment plan. Now I know that don't sound sexy. Nobody wants to fail. Nobody wants to mess up. But I'm telling you right now, if you're scared of failure, scared of growth, you're scared of becoming everything God designed you to be. See, failure ain't the opposite of success. It's the classroom. It's where you learn what not to do, so you can figure out what actually works. And guess what? The most successful people you admire, they done failed more times than most folks even tried. They've lost money, lost people, lost their confidence, but they got back up. And that's the difference. It's not whether or not you fall, it's whether or not you get back up swinging. I'll tell you something personal. I've failed more times than I can count. I've made bad decisions, trusted the wrong people, missed opportunities, been laughed at, criticized, overlooked. But I kept showing up, kept learning, kept trusting that God wouldn't let that failure go to waste. And guess what? He didn't. He never does. You give him your broken pieces, and he'll build you a stronger foundation than you ever had before. Now, most people give up too soon. First sign of trouble, and they fold. First no, and they quit. But if you gonna succeed in this life, you better develop a tough skin and a tender heart, because you gonna hear a lot of no's before you get that yes. You gonna get embarrassed, you gonna feel humiliated, but you keep going, you keep learning, you keep believing that the pain has a purpose. Let me ask you something. What's the worst that can happen if you fail? You get knocked down, so what? You've been knocked down before. You made it, you're still here. You ain't defeated until you quit. You ain't done until you decide to be done. People gonna laugh at you. Let them laugh. They laughed at Noah until it started raining. They laughed at Jesus until the stone rolled away. So if they laughing at you, good. That just means you're walking in something bigger than their small mind can understand. Failure makes you wiser. It makes you humble. It teaches you the lessons success can't. It builds that grit, that fire, that fight in you that says, this ain't the end. This is the setup. It's a redirection, not a rejection. God might be closing one door just to open another that you never would have walked through otherwise. And sometimes that failure is saving you from a version of success that would have crushed you. So change how you see it. Stop running from failure. Stop being ashamed of it. Wear it like a badge. Say, yeah, I failed, but I learned. I grew. I came back stronger. You'd be surprised how many people are watching you, not to see if you win, but to see if you'll get back up after the fall. Be the one that does, because at the end of the day, it's not the success that makes you great. It's the fight, the fall, and the faith to rise again. So don't fear failure. Respect it, embrace it, and let it sharpen you for the success that's already got your name on it. People's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. Now I want you to let that sink in for a second. Just because they said you can't, just because they think you're not good enough, smart enough, strong enough, don't make it true. People will try to put their limitations on you because they gave up on them. They'll tell you to play it safe, to settle, to be realistic, not because it's wise, but because they're scared. They don't want to see you rise because your rise exposes their comfort zone. Everybody got an opinion. And most of the time, it's based on their own fear, not your potential. You got folks who ain't never built nothing, who ain't risked nothing, who ain't dreamed in years, trying to tell you what's possible. That's like asking someone who's never flown how to land a plane. You can't let somebody else's doubt steer your destiny. You better know who you are and whose you are, or the world will shape you into who it wants you to be. Small, afraid, and invisible. When I started chasing my calling, people said I was crazy, said I wasn't qualified, said I didn't have the right background, the right look, the right voice. But let me tell you something. God don't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. What folks didn't see in me, God had already placed in me. And if I would have listened to those voices, I would have missed the whole reason I'm standing where I am today. Not because I had all the answers, but because I refused to let their opinion write my story. People will try to label you based on your past. They'll say, oh, he's just a dropout. She's just a single mom. He's just a janitor. She's just a waitress. But you ain't just anything. You are becoming. And they can't see that because they're too focused on what was, while God is focused on what will be. See, folks are quick to judge your seed, but they ain't ready for your harvest. So let them talk, let them whisper, let them doubt. You just keep planting, keep building, keep showing up. Now, I'm not saying ignore wise counsel. I'm saying ignore voices that come with no vision. I'm saying stop shrinking yourself to fit into rooms where you were meant to stand out. If they can't see your value, stop trying to prove it. Stop begging people to believe in you. You don't need their validation when you got God's confirmation. He didn't bring you this far just to have you bow down to people who don't even know what you carry. You've got something inside you that most folks wouldn't understand even if you explained it. And that's okay. They weren't meant to see it. They weren't meant to get it. They weren't meant to walk your path. This journey is yours, and you gotta walk it with courage, not with compromise. You don't owe anyone an explanation for the dream God gave you. And if you let their opinion become your truth, you'll never step into the freedom that was made for you. So stop trying to be liked and start living like you're already loved, because you are. You were created with purpose, designed with intention, and destined for impact. That ain't up for debate. So walk tall, speak bold, and never forget, their opinion is noise, but your purpose is power. Life has no guarantees, but it does offer opportunities. That right there is the truth nobody wants to hear. But everybody needs to understand, you can plan all you want. You can work hard, do the right thing, follow the rules, and still have life knock the wind out of you. You can give it everything you got and still come up short. That's life. There are no promises, no warranties, no contracts saying you'll make it just because you tried. But that's not the point. The point is, even though nothing is guaranteed, something is always possible. See, everybody wants security. We want the safety net, the sure thing, the blueprint that guarantees success, but life don't work like that. You want to win, you gotta be willing to step out even when the outcome is uncertain. That's what faith is. Faith ain't about knowing how it's gonna turn out. It's about moving forward when you don't know. It's about showing up when the odds are stacked against you, because you believe that somewhere in the chaos, there's a crack where light can get in, where a chance can be born. Now let me keep it all the way real with you. Sometimes life will hurt you. You'll give love and not get it back. You'll put your trust in people and they'll betray it. You'll sacrifice time, energy, money, and still fail. That's not failure. That's tuition. That's the price you pay for growth. That's what it means to be alive. Ain't no guarantees you make it, but I guarantee you won't if you don't try. Life don't owe you a thing, but every single day you wake up, It gives you something, a chance. And that chance, that opportunity is everything. You got 24 hours today to push forward. You got one more day to dream, to build, to heal, to love, to believe. And you better take advantage of it, because tomorrow ain't promised. See, some folks wait too long for the perfect moment, but the perfect moment ain't coming. You gotta move with what you've got while you've got it. That's the secret. You ever hear people say, I'll start when I'm ready? Man, you'll never be fully ready. Nobody ever is. You just gotta start. You gotta jump and grow wings on the way down. You gotta trust that if the door doesn't open, maybe you're supposed to build one. You might not have all the resources, but you've got a mind. You've got talent. You've got a story. And that story can bless somebody. But only if you take the opportunity and run with it. People waste so much time looking for guarantees, and they miss what's right in front of them. Moments. And those moments, that's where the power is. That's where God works. He don't need perfect, he just needs willing. And if you're willing to show up, willing to keep going, willing to take a risk without knowing how it ends, you'll find that the opportunity was never outside you, it was always in you. So stop asking, what if it doesn't work? And start asking, what if it does? Oh, what if this one small step turns into the breakthrough you've been praying for? What if this one risk leads to a life you never imagined? What if today's opportunity changes your entire future? So forget the guarantees and go grab the opportunity with both hands. Because the next move you make might just be the one that shifts everything. You have greatness within you, but you gotta dig deep to find it. And I mean deep, because greatness doesn't live on the surface. It don't show up when things are easy. It don't knock on your door and say, hey, I'm here. Nah, man. Greatness is buried underneath the pain, the pressure, the rejection, the fear, the disappointment. It's down there beneath the dirt of life. And if you want it, you're gonna have to go get it. You see, most folks walk around with something powerful inside of them and don't even know it. They think because they failed, because they messed up, because they come from nothing, that they are nothing. But let me tell you something, you are created with purpose. There's something in you that this world needs, something that nobody else can offer. You are not average. You are not random. You are not a mistake. You've been equipped with gifts, talents, and a story that can break chains and shift atmospheres. But it won't come out until you reach for it. And here's the truth. Life ain't gonna give you easy access to it. You think your greatness is just gonna show up without a fight? Absolutely not. You're gonna have to get uncomfortable. You're gonna have to face your insecurities. You're gonna have to push past the limits people placed on you. That greatness in you, it comes alive when you're in the dark, when you're down, when you've hit rock bottom and all you got left is grit and God. Some of the strongest people you'll ever meet didn't get there because life was sweet to them. They got there because they dug their way out. They cried, they bled, they fought their way through storms most people never even saw. And that's the difference. They didn't settle. They didn't quit. They didn't let the weight bury them. They used it to build strength. That's what you gotta do. You gotta stop waiting for someone to hand you your power and start realizing you were born with it. I'm talking about the kind of greatness that changes lives. The kind that walks into a room and commands attention not with arrogance, but with presence. The kind that speaks up when others stay silent. That forgives when others hold grudges. That keeps building when others walk away. That's in you. But it doesn't show up until you stop playing small. Until you stop talking yourself out of your own blessing. Until you stop living in fear of what could go wrong and start moving in faith toward what could go right. You gotta get real with yourself. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more blaming your past. No more saying, I'll try, it's time to do. There's a version of you haven't even met yet. Stronger, wiser, more powerful. But you'll never meet that version if you keep hiding behind comfort. You've been sleeping on yourself for too long. It's time to wake up. It's time to look in the mirror and say, I am more than this. Because you are. You are more than your pain. You are more than your setbacks. You are more than what they said you'd be. Your greatness is not in the future. It's already in you. but it needs your permission to rise. It needs your decision. It needs your action. So stop looking outside for what God already placed inside. You don't need to become someone else. You need to become you, fully, completely, unapologetically. So dig deep, stand tall, and let the world feel your greatness, because you were born to shine, not to shrink.